And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? Ladies and gentlemen.
I need Michelle Obama to go low at least one time in my lifetime because the amount of disrespect that this woman gets. And someone had tweeted that, yeah, like we respect her for always taking the high road because I don't know how she does it. But if she ever decides to go low, we're going to go low with her. And because when she goes low, I want her to sue the shit out of the UFC, sue whoever that boxer was, just sue them for defamation because I'm getting tired for her. I'm exhausted for her, and I cannot imagine what it's like to just be living this life where I'm helping people actively. I've accomplished so much, and to be constantly disrespected by people who can't even be in the same room with me. So Michelle Obama, please go low one time. I guarantee you we are all going to back and support you because this is ridiculous.
Michelle Obama is overreacting and making a big deal out of nothing. I was just joking with her, just a harmless comment with no bad intent. But she took it and framed it as racism and a personal attack, which is not how I meant it at all. I'll admit, saying that inside the White House wasn't very respectful. But anyone who knows me knows I've always made jokes like this after winning matches or in casual situations. It's just how I talk sometimes. I've even said worse things before, and it was never turned into something this serious. I was just trying to lighten the mood a bit. What I said is nothing close to the kind of trash talk athletes throw at each other before games. So I don't understand why this one comment is being singled out. Is it because her last name is Obama? Or because of her skin color? When did everything in the U.S. start getting turned into racial politics like this? I can apologize and accept consequences if needed, but I still don't think I did anything wrong.
He thought the crowd would cheer. He thought social media would make him a hero. Instead, he's now begging for sympathy after allegedly finding out that words have consequences. And this controversy is about much more than one fighter. It's about the years of disrespect directed at one of America's most admired black women. Hello everyone, welcome back to Global Trends. If you're new here, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest discussions on the stories, the biggest stories shaping our world. Now, let's get into it.
Michelle Obama is overreacting and making a big deal out of nothing.
Oh, Josh, you could have handled that so much better. But you didn't. You could have apologized. You could have made it right. But instead, you accused a woman that you used as a butt of a cheap joke. Or you called it a joke, but a lot of us didn't find that funny. But you chose to blame her for overreacting. You lost your sponsorships. You've been taken off of the card, I guess that's a thing. So the UFC is kind of canceling you, and your brands are canceling you, and you're being sued, and rightfully so. So, yeah, maybe in the future, don't even say shit like that. But also, the next best thing when you fuck up is to apologize. Okay?
All you do when you bring the Obamas up is remind people of what is currently missing from the White House. Okay, see, the Obamas set a standard for decency and class and poise and intelligence in the White House. Okay, that no longer exists now. All right, you didn't have to agree with the Obamas politically to recognize that they were a masterclass in dignity. All right, truly grace under fire. Now that bar is in hell. Okay, Satan and his demons use that bar to limbo. They got that bar down there and they cha-cha sliding to it. You hear me? How low can they go? Can they go down low all the way to the floor? How low can they go? Can they bring it to the top? No, they can't. Okay, the bottom is their ceiling. And people like Josh Hokit remind us of that every chance they get. See, this event was supposed to be celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Okay, the Declaration of Independence asserts that all people are created equal and possess unalienable rights, okay, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This was a reminder that Josh Hokit and people like Josh Hokit don't look at black people as equal.
A UFC fighter named Josh Hokit calls Michelle Obama a man. And now he says that she is overreacting because she is suing him for defamation. So the UFC fighter named Josh Hokett, he has a UFC fight on the White House lawn, and he finally wins a fight, because from what I hear and what the people are saying is that he hardly ever wins any fights. So for him to sit up there and not enjoy his win and celebrate his win, but the first thing he wanted to do was take the time to insult the former First Lady Michelle Obama, it's giving weird. I cannot understand when people come out insulting the former First Lady Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. It's that the Obamas have not been in the White House for almost a decade. It's giving that you are obsessed. It's giving that the Obamas are living rent-free in your motherfucking head. It's giving that you need to seek motherfucking help. I mean, we get it though. We know what it is. Y'all couldn't fuck with the Obamas on their worst motherfucking day, because they don't even have one. Michelle Obama is the most accomplished first lady that we ever had. She graduated from Princeton. She graduated from Harvard. She was a lawyer. She was a dean of students, author, mother, wife, first lady. She is the epitome of black excellence. So is the former president, Barack Obama. Y'all couldn't fuck with a picture of neither one of them. And that's what fucks you up so bad. But the thing about Josh Hokett is, he is the company that he keeps. He was at the White House on the White House lawn when he had the UFC fight. So are we surprised that he said this? No, we are not. Cheeto probably told him to say that. Need I remind y'all that about a month or two ago, Cheeto Puff posted Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as monkeys. They cannot take the Obamas. It's too much for them. They don't exude the class and the black excellence that they have. We will never have that in the White House again. Ever. Never. And they can't take that. And that's what it is. But you don't get to come out and say that somebody's overreacting after you said what you said. That was very disrespectful. That was disgusting. That was distasteful. But once again, you are the company that you keep.
It's not just that the UFC fighter said Michelle Obama is a man. That's disgusting enough. But Trump apparently was right there. I didn't see it happen, but apparently Trump was right there in the vicinity. Did he immediately grab the microphone and say, hey, that's not a good thing to say. That's a horrible thing to say. Do any of you remember what happened when Senator John McCain, when he was campaigning against Obama for the presidency, and a woman in the audience started to disparage Obama as a Muslim? John McCain went into the audience, physically took the microphone from the woman and said, no ma'am, Senator Obama is a good family man. We just happen to disagree about certain policies. Senator John McCain was a war hero and he had class. Donald Trump is a draft dodger who has no class, never has shown any class. And by the way, of course, Trump literally put down John McCain's service and said he was not a war hero because he was captured. As I've been saying for years, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Oh, and by the way, it's now a couple of days later, the White House has still not pushed back on the Michelle Obama incident. How pathetic is that?
And when Michelle Obama files a defamation lawsuit, just like the First Lady of France filed a defamation lawsuit against Candace Owens, I don't want to hear not a single complaint, none. Now, in case you missed it, this UFC fighter won his fight at the White House last night, which is already a sentence I never thought I would say. And then he got on stage and said this.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Matter of fact, my crew, make sure y'all screen record that, save it, download it, put it on a flash drive. The Obamas might need it for discovery, because let's say Michelle Obama wakes up one morning and chooses violence, legal violence that is. She files a lawsuit and says, I'm not a man, you knew I wasn't a man, you said it publicly anyway, and now millions of people are repeating it. Congratulations, we have checked several boxes on our defamation worksheet. Now, am I saying she would win the lawsuit? I have no idea. I've been told y'all, my name is not Maxine Shaw, attorney at law. Do I think a case like that could survive a motion to dismiss and make his life extremely expensive for a while? Why, yes, I do. And I'm not saying that this UFC fighter is broke. I'm sure he's doing very well financially. I don't know if he has Michelle and Barack Obama money, you understand that? Because I know you thought you were being funny with that dusty, crusty, been sitting in the attic since 2008 joke, but what happens if Michelle Obama wants to be hilarious? What happens if she decides that the punchline to the joke is your legal fees?
Last night, this dude, Josh Hokett, he won his heavyweight cage fight at the White House. And in this post-cage fight interview with podcaster Joe Rogan, this dude decides to take his 30 seconds of fame and yell into the mic. I hate to repeat this, but I'm going to do it because you need to hear it. Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? This is a calculated moment meant to rivet, shock, and stir up controversy. It is designed to get this dude's name into all the headlines, which it did. But let's talk for a minute about why that sentence holds so much impact. It's actually doing three jobs at the same time. First off, it's racist. That whole black woman is mannish thing, that's as old as time, and it's a load of crap. It's transphobic because, according to that guy, the worst thing you can say about a woman is that she looks like a man. And finally, it is misogynistic because it was never intended to be only about Michelle Obama. The message is to every woman watching. If you become too powerful, too tall, too good, too impactful, we're going to bring you down. The UFC fight was enough to get my blood boiling, happening on the White House lawn. But this sends everything just over the edge. Just think for a minute about all the young boys and young men watching this and getting empowered and learning how to talk about and how to treat women from this buffoon. And then think about all the young girls and young women watching it who are being trained to make themselves smaller, quieter, less impactful, so they don't piss off buffoons like that. I'm Kristen Bear. I'm an author. I write about pissed off women. This kind of thing needs to be talked about out loud again and again. Because if we don't, they get the power. They keep the power. So if, like me, this is one of the million things the patriarchy does to piss us off, follow along. There's lots more.
Michelle Obama is overreacting and making a big deal out of nothing.
So, Josh, let me help you understand where you have gone awry. All right. You made a comment about, you don't understand why it's a big deal, that you were so obnoxious towards the former First Lady. You don't see why, why does anybody care? And that attitude is part of the problem. In fact, it's a big part of the problem, right? Because when you normalize being that wildly disrespectful, you make it easy for the next person to do the next wrong thing. Do you understand how the role you play influences other people? And normalizing being that disrespectful to a person who should point blank be just held in high esteem, thank you very much. This is the hypocrisy. This is the throwing the rock and hiding your hands and then saying, why is it a big deal? Why do you care? Why can't you take a joke? Motherfucker, that is a goddamn former First Lady. and a well-accomplished one at that. And you guys are just so casual with these insults, but you don't want to be held accountable for anything. Where does the disrespect cross a line that hits you as being wrong, as being too far? I mean, how many miles past the line do you have to go before you start realizing that maybe, just maybe, you went too far? Maybe disrespecting her for the sake of entertaining someone else, and we all know what that's about. And now that you're dealing with the consequences of your irresponsible behavior, it's blowing back on you. And now you don't want to deal with it. You don't want to deal with the blowback. Why can't you take a joke? What's the matter? You guys have no sense of humor. You're too serious. Really? And that's another problem. This bullshit where you guys, once again, throw the rock, hide your hands. Why can't y'all take a joke? Who the fuck is joking at this point in time? What is wrong with you all? It is so obvious that you all hate us, and for reasons that we still don't fucking understand. It doesn't matter whatever we do, no matter how good we are. You guys try to balance it out some kind of fucked up way. I mean, insulting her to that, I mean, it's the most classless thing to do. America's reputation has just like gone completely down the shitter. And it's comments like this that help it get there. Like, you guys have zero dignity. You have no pride. And you talk about, oh yeah, the U.S. and MAGA, we're the best country in the world. No, we're not. We are a goddamn joke on the world stage. And trust me, the jokes are getting funnier because the shit's not stopping. On the world stage, America looks like it has lost its fucking mind. And then we got, people who are professional athletes weighing in on politicians that they honestly have zero ability to speak to intelligently. And that's why America looks dumb as fuck, and why we look primitive now, and why we look completely and totally ignorant and overrun by idiots. That's why. And you're helping. You're busy trying to impress the bully. Well, yeah, I'm gonna do some shitty stuff. And now that's blown back on you. You don't want to talk about it. Nobody's got a good sense of humor. Guess what? A fucked up comment is exactly that. And when you're disrespectful on the world stage, guess what? The whole world sees it. So, the first step for recovery is accepting that you actually have a problem. And that's the big ego check. You guys got a bunch of fucking ego checking to do. And you need to get to work on it because quite frankly, you think too fucking much of yourself. I mean, insulting someone of such high esteem is just embarrassing at this point. It's not cute. It's not, oh my God, the guy's he's not afraid to speak his mind. The village idiot spoke his mind. Congratulations. You've done a bang-up job. Now the world knows you're trash. And lastly, what was the old saying? Better to be quiet and let people think you're a fool than open your mouth and prove them right. That's where we are.
Dana White did not fire Josh Hokick, and people have got to learn the difference when they're looking at something that's AI. Don't always believe what you're seeing just because it may be something that you want to hear. But there are a lot of videos going around saying that Dana White fired Josh Hokick from the UFC due to his comments about Michelle Obama. Now, I would agree that that's probably what should have happened. However, he did have some consequences. He is not going to be able to keep his title and defend it in the contendership. And also, he was stripped of any earnings that he may have gotten from that UFC fight. Now, it has caused an uproar, and it should have, because it was disrespectful, it was foul, it was nasty, and he did come out and condemn it. Now, the White House hasn't, though. Now, that's the difference. But yeah, he's still working for UFC. Bye.
Josh Hokick is an absolute disgrace to America and the UFC. This guy wins the biggest fight of his life against Derek Lewis at the White House, and he decides to call Michelle Obama a man?
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
It takes a really small man to take his biggest moment and use it to attack a woman by calling her a man, especially with the long history of black women being called too masculine, and that's a common trope that they have constantly overcome. But Josh Hokit doesn't care. He's just trying to find any possible way that he can to go viral. The bottom line is you can have your opinions, you can debate policy all day long, but that right there, that's low and unnecessary. This is a fighter who had the entire world watching him in one of the most prestigious houses in all of the world. And instead of lifting people up and showing class, he goes for a cheap shot, using a tired and disrespectful trope that has been used for generations to attack women. It diminishes the moment, it diminishes him, because real strength doesn't come from tearing women down, and especially not in your victory speech. Real strength comes from knowing when to show respect, and that wasn't it.
For years, Michelle Obama has been the target of cruel insults, racist stereotypes, and conspiracy theories designed to dehumanize her. Now, among the most persistent has been the false and offensive claim that she is a man, a lie that has circulated online despite having no factual basis. Now, according to reports surrounding this controversy, a UFC fighter used a public celebration after a victory to repeat that false claim while speaking into a microphone. It wasn't made in private. It wasn't whispered amongst friends. It was allegedly said in front of cameras and an audience, knowing clips would spread across the internet. Now, after reportedly facing legal actions, sponsorship problems, and public backlash, the same person is claiming it was just a joke. But here's the question. When has repeatedly attacking someone's identity ever been a joke? Humor doesn't erase harm. Calling someone or calling something a joke after facing consequences doesn't automatically make it harmless. Public figures certainly receive criticism, but spreading false claims about someone's identity crosses into a very different conversation. Many people, of course, in the black community see this as part of a larger pattern. Michelle Obama has often faced attacks that got beyond politics. Critics have pointed to the racist and sexist stereotypes that black women have historically endured, being portrayed as less feminine, less human, or someone undeserving of dignity and respect. Now, whether people agree with the Obama's political, vision or agree with them politically or not, nobody deserves to have lies spread about who they are. Now, these moments also highlight something important about accountability. Freedom of speech is a fundamental right in many countries, yes, but it doesn't necessarily protect someone from civil consequences if false statements are found to be defamatory under the law. Courts, not social media, ultimately determine whether legal standards for defamation have been met. Now, the bigger lesson here is that influence comes with responsibility. Millions of people watch athletes, entertainers, and online personalities. Now, when they amplify falsehoods, those claims can spread rapidly and reinforce harmful narratives. The black community has repeatedly spoken out against these kinds of attacks because they don't happen in isolation. They contribute to a culture where disrespect toward black women is normalized, and many are saying enough is enough. Now, if these reports are accurate, this case could become another reminder that public platforms are powerful and using them irresponsibly can carry real consequences. Now, at the end of the day, respect should never be controversial. Disagreement is part of the democracy. A personal attack rooted in falsehood and harmful stereotypes shouldn't be. Thank you for watching Global Trends. If you found this discussion thoughtful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Now it's your turn. Do you think public figures should face stronger consequences for spreading false claims about others? And where do you believe the line should be drawn between free expression and defamation? Let us know what you think about this in the comment section. Credit belongs to original creators, and please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.